third and final race here for the Mazda Super Series, and we see Josh Jackson and Jake Bailey still battling it out to the bitter end. However, with plenty of other Mazdas here to fill the track, they will be putting on a fitting tribute for this being the last ever time we'll be gracing Rockingham's Motor Speedway. So we're going to hand it straight over to Andy for all the action.
Yeah, for the final time then, what's likely to be a fairly emotional race for some drivers. We are about to go racing at Rockingham. Jake Bailey and Josh Jackson make up row one ahead of Jeremy Crook and Alec Lyndsay. This based on the results from the previous race, so it's all a fairly familiar order in which they will start. Rockingham has been a very special place over the years. It's a shame to see it go. We know now that the future of this circuit will not involve, at least in the immediate future, any racing as such. We hope the facility will remain. Who knows? We may be back in the future, but for now, for one last time, let's go racing. Down towards turn number one they go. Bad start made by Matt Pickford further back, but Josh Jackson this time around has got the number 72 car off the line fairly well. Gets his nose in front of Jake Bailey as they run down towards turn number one, wheel to wheel between the race leaders through the first corner down towards the Dean hairpin. Don't forget about everyone else behind though, because they're so preoccupied with each other. Look at that, Jeremy Crook nearly went up the inside. There's someone shooting to the outside. That's Alec Lyndsay, who survived, of course, the dramas that happened in front of him between Sam Bailey and James Kelly in the previous race, and actually came out of it with a fourth place finish, which was his best finish of the year so far. Down towards the end when they go on board with Patrick Collins, who I think maybe received a bit of a love tap there as they turn through the corner. All safely through into the right-hander now at Chapman Curve. Into the piff-paff sequence of corners where Bailey leads the way from Jackson in second position. Third place looks to be Richard Breland, I think, or is it Lyndsay? No, it's still Lyndsay, ahead of Crook, in fact. Where is Richard Breland? Richard Breland, oh, of course, started from the back of the grid, didn't he, because he retired yesterday. So Richard Breland, who's been a fast starter and a feature at the front of the field in both of the races so far, will have to work his way through the order. There is Richard, look, the black, white, red blink car. Then we've got side-by-side action behind. Number 19 there is Liz Walton, who we haven't seen much of this weekend. Likewise, number 10 is Richard Norris. They're running side-by-side through the corner. And then hard on the brakes, James Kelly. You can see the green machine trying to work his way back through the field as well after what was looking like being his best weekend of the season so far. He was on the verge of his first ever podium. Unfortunately, ended up out of the race down at the Tarzan hairpin. He's got the number 10 machine of Richard Norris trying to come back at him here down towards the chicane, but he can't do it. Liz Walton's next in his sights. As they go out to the banking, and there he goes. Nicely inside, James Kell getting his way through the field fairly rapidly, although not quite as rapidly as Sam Bailey and Richard Breland. He start from the back of the grid. There is Bailey around the tail of Simon Fleet. There's Matt Pickford in the yellow and then Martini liveried car. Is Breland about to go the inside of Simon Fleet. Looks like he's going to try it. Hard on the brakes into the left-hander. Yep, gets to the apex first, so the blink car gains another place. And his next target is Xavier Brook, I think that is, just up the road. I haven't yet caught a glimpse of Sam Bailey, so I'm not entirely sure where he's got himself to on this opening lap of the race, if indeed he's out there, but I think we were missing one on the line, and I'm wondering whether maybe it was Sam that didn't take the start. In fact, yes, we have had now confirmation of that. Sam Bailey is not out there on the track, so Sam, unfortunately, not taking part in the final race at Rockingham, but back on hope at Donington Park for the final rounds of the series. Richard Breland making another move now, the inside of Xavier Brook. He's making pretty easy work of some of these overtakes, but of course the further up the order you get to some slightly harder drivers to overtake, and the next one is going to be Patrick Collins on his hit list. Patrick been getting quicker and quicker and becoming a better racer as the year goes on. That was an aggressive move by Simon Fleet, but it works. Wasn't pretty, but it got the job done. Locks up the brakes, goes up the inside of Xavier Brook. 2 places lost in 2 corners, unfortunately, for the 70 car. Although he's going to try and come back, actually, up the inside down towards the chicane. Simon Fleet just late enough on the brakes, I think, to get into the corner first. Yes, he is. Then you've got the 101 car of Simon Woods, the white machine, next in line. An opportunity to check in with some of the drivers that are running a bit further down the order that we haven't necessarily seen all that much of so far this weekend, but they're in amongst it now with some of the quicker drivers coming through from the back. Really coming through quickly is Richard Breland. He's already caught and is now alongside Patrick Collins as they go through turn number 1. He has his nose in front, he has the inside line when they get down to the Dean hairpin as well. So he's almost got this one sorted now. Onto the brakes, later on the brakes as well. The car looks nice and settled. The issue was that pulling out of the race at this part of the circuit in race number 2, the car just suddenly seemed to conk out. Appears, hopefully, to have been sorted now. Chapman, they're about to go. That was Yenwood, the first right-handers, then Chapman. And Patrick Collins still with that red tank tape. I thought they could find some yellow tank tape maybe to try and match the fluorescent yellow wing mirrors, but stands out, doesn't it, that damage that he's clearly sustained at some point earlier on in the weekend. But it's not slowing him down one little bit. He's got Simon Fleet slowly starting to fill those mirrors now. In the blue and pink car, that's a car you're definitely going to notice approaching behind you. Very distinctive livery on Simon's car. And you've got this Xavier Brooks, Simon Woods and Matt Pickford squabble going on. Matt Pickford, one of those drivers who's been around since the start of the season as well. And good to see him continuing to enjoy his racing, getting quicker and quicker as the year goes on as well. Xavier Brooks, the number 70 car, Simon Woods, the 101, who has raced in Mark 1s for quite some time, but making one of his first appearances this is in the Mark 3 car. He's done a few rounds this year as he slowly gets to grips with the newer machinery. We'll have to wait and see whether or not he comes back again next year to Super Series, maybe Super Cup, maybe both. Lots of these drivers are competing in both. A bit of extra track time. And the Super Cup very much seen as the next step above the Super Series, really. So if you want to dip your toe into Mazda racing, but you don't know whether you want to commit to the Super Cup, which is one of the most competitive championships in the UK, full stop. Forget Mazda championships, forget club level championships. Some higher profile championships to shame sometimes, and it is an intimidating championship to make your debut in. This though is a much more laid back, relaxed way of going racing, although Xavier Brooks not particularly relaxed there as he snatched a break into the lead hairpin. That allows Simon Woods on the inside. Simon gains the place. Waiting for the leaders to appear. There they go, Jake Bailey and Josh Jackson. Then you can see the gap back to, where are they all? There they are. The fight going on for third place, and then this scrap going on with Matt Pickford. The pressure now from James Kell, who definitely was benefiting, I think, in the first two races from good track position. He seems to have decent pace when he's up at the front, but getting to the front, you have to be able to do some real overtaking, and so far we've only really seen him this weekend having to defend positions rather than gaining them. But now faced with the task of working his way up the order, he's finding things not all that easy. Pickford is the next man on his radar through Gracelands. They drop downhill, then head in towards the Tarzan hairpin, but Pickford defending the inside, and there just isn't anywhere through for James Kell. In fact, Pickford's trying to get up alongside Xavier Brooks, and Pickford gets sideways, and Kell had to slam on the anchors there to avoid running into the back of the sideways number 16 car. That, as a result, cost them both momentum. Kelly's now at the inside into the chicane though, and Pickford's going to turn in. That could end in contact if they're not too careful. Pickford just left him enough room, but only just. He's a bit slower off the corner though. This could be Kell's first opportunity to really start making progress. He's up the inside, and I think he's about to go through as they head across the start-finish line. His nose is in front of the timing line. He should be able to make this one stick as they head through turn number 1, and indeed he does. So James Kell on the Fortuna number 33 car gains one position, could really do with a few more if possible. Brakes, tight line for both of them. This one's locked up in front. I think that was the black car in front, wasn't it, of Xavier Brooks, who ran a bit wide. So James Kell might just be able to close in as a result of that, although the gap doesn't seem to be closing all that rapidly. Trying to find his feet a bit here now that he's a bit further down the order than he's grown accustomed to running this weekend. Pickford falling behind him now slightly as they head into Corby. Again, takes a tight line in, which does seem to compromise you on the way out of the corner, but it's always a bit of a compromise anyway, that sequence of corners, because the corners lead onto it from each other so quickly. You sort of have to compromise one corner so as to be on the right line for the next one. Back with one of the battles going on a bit further up the order, and most notably following the charge of Richard Breland, who is now on the tail of Alec Livesley and Jeremy Crook. Alec Livesley having started this race in 4th position, his finishing position from the previous race, while Crook was 3rd, so that shows you how high up the order Richard Breland has been able to get already. He's on the back of the podium battles now. Out through the banking they go, onto the pit straight once again. The slipstream starts to take effect. Can Jeremy Crook start to build a challenge here on Breland? He's looking to the inside, can't do it. Maybe just hurt hurt him a bit as well. I think he had to lift off the throttle so as to avoid contact. So Lyndsay should stay in front, despite Crook weaving this way and that. But I think that's more in defence now than attack, because he knows that Richard Breland has caught them fairly rapidly, so he's definitely got speed. And he can find a way through. Breland all over the back of Jeremy Crook's car as they race down towards Yentwood. Breland on the outside though. Again, just all about building momentum through this sequence of corners and trying to find yourself on the inside line at some point when maybe try and gain ground. Until then, it can be quite frustrating sometimes. You can be following another car or a couple of cars that you know you're quicker than, and that certainly seems to be the case here for Breland, but just not able to get past them. Corby up the hill, and Sam Bailey defending again that inside line onto the brakes. Sorry, not Sam Bailey, Jeremy Crook, excuse me, similarly liveried cars. Through that left-hander down towards Tarzan, and I thought there was a gap up the inside, but no, Crook had it covered. Breland, frustratedly, just can't get through, but he needs to try and do this cleanly if he can. Back up the hill, you can see Patrick Collins, Simon Fleet and Simon Woods still dicing behind. We don't have Simon Orange racing with us this weekend, but it does seem, and we've commented on this a few times this year, that to race in a Mazda it does help to have the name Simon. He'll certainly be in good company. Look at Alec Lyndsay, that was so close to the wall. And I suppose this is your last chance to gain your Rockingham stripes, and that was very, very close indeed to disaster for Alec Lyndsay. I'm pretty sure there's a bit of white paint along the side of his car, and a bit of black paint streaked up against the wall now. Through turn one come the pair of Simons, Simon Fleet and Simon Woods. Woods in the white car, looking to the outside, looking to the inside, trying to make the move here. He's later on the brakes, getting the inside into the Dean hairpin. Fleet is later on the brakes, but runs wide as a result, and so Woods does go through. Nice move made there by Simon Woods. Can he now go after Patrick Collins? He's got time. We're only just into the second half of this race, so Simon Woods could be able to gain another position or two before the race is over. Chapman, and Fleet just doesn't look to quite have the pace this weekend, does he? He's had a 8th place finish in race 1, a 6th in race 2. That was partly as a result of others having dramas. Unfortunately, slipping even further down the order here in this third and final race of the weekend. That does put him now in 8th position. Simon's had one top 5 this year, but that was quite a bit early. In fact, it had one podium, wasn't it, back at Cadwell Park in the 3rd race. Quite a long time ago that though, and Simon just struggling a bit this weekend, but like I say, we'll hopefully see him back for Donington Park, the final round. So this 3rd place battle, then this the 6th place battle. Patrick Collins on for not quite his best result of the weekend. He had a 5th in race 2, but he's messed up the chicane a bit there, feeling the pressure now from Simon Woods, who all of a sudden has come alive here in the second half of the race. He's in quick succession found a way up into 7th and now trying to get into 6th. This is for the race lead, and well, we've been here before, haven't we? Jake Bailey leading the way, pulls a decent margin in the first few laps. Josh Jackson then spends the middle portion of the race closing him back down, and then spends the last third of the race or so trying to find a way through. And so far this weekend, in race 1 he did find a way through for all of half a lap and then lost it again, and in race 2 at no point did he get himself in front of Jake Bailey. Well, so far this weekend it's 2-0 to Bailey. He's won the first 2 races. Jackson yet to score a victory. He would like to just turn the tables back in his favour here slightly if he could. As we've mentioned on numerous occasions, there are no points in the Super Series. It really does just come down to bragging rights as to who's got the most trophies come the end of the year. Well, as we stand at the moment, Josh Jackson's won 9 races, Jake Bailey has won 6, so Jake could yet take more victories than Josh this year, but he needs to win this race and 2 more at Donington to be able to do that. In fact, he would have to win the last 4 races of the year, wouldn't he, to draw level with Josh Jackson. So this actually is a fairly pivotal race therefore in that respect, isn't it? Because if Jackson wins it, he'll go on to 10 wins, and there won't then be any way for Jake Bailey to beat that number of victories. So for the sort of unofficial championship, this is the decider between the 2 of them in a way, because if Jackson takes the victory, he can't be beaten on race wins. So this is certainly something that I'm pretty sure will have gone through the minds of these two drivers with no points to worry about. They will certainly have been thinking about who's got the most wins and who's had the most podiums. And Josh Jackson knows the significance of what a race victory today could mean. Down the back straight they go towards the Dean hairpin, and Jake Bailey having to drive more defensively now than we've seen him have to drive for a little while. So Josh Jackson able to get through them, but he's applying the pressure and he's asking all the right questions of Jake Bailey. And once you're applying the pressure, sometimes that's the best way to get through, is not necessarily to try and make the move happen yourself, but just apply the pressure and let them make a mistake. Eventually, surely, Jake Bailey will lock a brake, he'll miss an apex, he'll go offline slightly, and that will maybe open the door for Jackson to go through. Jackson just needs to make sure that he's close enough at all times to capitalise should the mistake come. So far it hasn't. Jake Bailey hasn't really put a foot wrong all weekend long, but Josh Jackson will be counting on maybe just forcing that little error out of the race leader inside these last 5 minutes or so of the race. The race taking on extra significance, of course, because it will be the last time that Mazda's race at Rockingham, so forever be able to go down in the history books as the last ever winner of a Mazda race here. And there have been some crackers over the years in the Mark 1s and in the Super Cup, and we've been treated to 2 great races this weekend in the Super Series. This third one isn't looking bad either. Josh Jackson, I thought there was a gap up the inside, there's just no way through. Bailey has been strong on the brakes all weekend. Every time that Jackson gets alongside, or almost alongside, to the point where you think he's about to make a dive up the inside line, Bailey always seems to have an answer under braking, so I don't think that's going to be where he goes through. He's probably going to have to try and outfox Bailey coming out of the corner somewhere and get up the inside line properly into the next one. The slipstream's a good bet as well, trying to close in through turn 1, but Bailey's always going to go to the inside to defend, so Jackson will have to go the long way round. And then again you see Bailey later on the brakes than the white and black number 72 machine, but he's late on the brakes and then doesn't run wide either. He hooks up the apex nicely, so there's now even an opportunity really for a switchback manoeuvre on the exit of the corner for Jackson. Free Edward, and still Bailey is fending him off. So they do say it only takes 2 cars to make a motor race. We've got a decent grid here this weekend, and there've been some good battling behind, but even if we only had these 2 drivers on the grid, you'd still be guaranteed action, wouldn't you? Because they're just so evenly matched, and they have been all year long. There's a gap there on the inside as Bailey takes that traditional, or at least for him, wide entry. That has become his go-to line down at Corby. It's probably the quicker way through the corner, but it does leave that inviting gap up the inside for Josh Jackson. On a couple of occasions in all 3 races, he's tried to slot his car up the inside there, but to no avail. Defensive line taken into Tarzan by Bailey. Through the corner, can Jackson maybe square up the exit? He was trying this move in race 1 as well when we were riding on board with him. He may have found a gap to the inside. Oh, there's contact between the 2 of them, just slightly there. It just unsettled the rear of Bailey's car, but that was unintentional. Jackson was just trying to slip up the inside there, but Bailey moved across to cover, and Josh just gave him a bit of a headbutt down the straight. No damage done, no hard feelings, I'm sure. They'll continue the racing onto another lap. Probably time for 2 more laps, I reckon, just about. Have to watch the clock and see whether or not we get the checkered flag this time around or not. The drivers won't always be certain of that either, so for Jackson, he'll know he's getting towards the end of the race. He won't necessarily know how much longer he's got to try and find a way past Jake Bailey, who again defends the inside line, and expect will hold that tight line all the way through the corner, because that's what he's been doing all weekend, but gets a bit of a slide on the exit, so that will be giving a bit of hope to Josh Jackson. In fact, there's a gap on the inside line, and no, Bailey just drifted over to cover it. Jackson, again, had there been a genuine championship on the line here, he might have kept his foot in the door there, but it was always going to close, and it was always therefore going to result in contact unless one of them decided to back down. In the end, it was Jackson that decided to do so, and so still Bailey is leading. Bailey has led across the start-finish line on every lap this weekend, apart from 1. You would think, therefore, that it had been a pretty dull and processional, dominant performance by Bailey, but that's been it's been anything but that. He's had intense pressure from Josh Jackson all weekend long. We've thoroughly enjoyed watching the battling. Who is going to take this final victory of the weekend? That is still up for debate, as Jake Bailey once again defends into Tarzan, but because of the nature of this circuit, it's a lot of left-handers followed by right-handers, and left and right, and left and right. If you go in tight, you're going to run wide on the exit, yes, but it probably still means you're on the inside for the next corner. That was a mistake there from Bailey, though. He outbraked himself into the chicane. He was on that tight defensive line and didn't quite slow down enough. Now, that may mean that Jackson gets the better exit from the corner. Is it good enough to get alongside? Not quite. We will have time for one more lap, so this is it. The final lap of racing ever for Mazda MX-5s here at Rockingham, and Jake Bailey is having to really get his elbows out now. Josh Jackson to the outside line through the first corner, but he's been here before and not able to make the move work. Down towards the braking zone. Who's going to be the bravest? Inside line for Bailey, outside line for Jackson. They're pretty equal on the way into the corner. Now is there going to be another tail slide here for the race leader? He's a bit more gentle with the application of the throttle on this occasion. So Josh Jackson still can't find a way through, despite almost certainly being the quicker of the two, but there's nowhere through. Bailey is defending so well. You don't have to be the quicker driver or in the quicker car to win a race. You just have to know how to defend. And Jake Bailey's put on a masterclass of defensive driving this weekend, and he only has to hold on for another half a lap. Down towards Corby. Does Jackson go for the inside line? He doesn't, but then Bailey didn't run out quite as wide as he usually does either. Jackson maybe slightly quicker off the turn, but Graceland's isn't really an overtaking opportunity. Tarzan is, though, and so a good run out of here could set Jackson up for the move down into the hairpin. And on the one previous occasion this weekend where he has been able to overtake Jake Bailey, this is where he did it, on the inside line. That inside line, though, is covered by Bailey on this occasion, so Jackson goes to the outside on the way into the corner, looking for the exit speed. He might have timed that perfectly. Look at that, he's fully alongside. It's the outside line down towards the chicane. They're going to lean on each other, banging wing mirrors as they go down the school straight for the final time. 3 more corners to go. Bailey on the inside, Jackson on the outside line. The final win at Rockingham Motor Speedway. Who is it going to go to? Over the curbs goes Josh Jackson, but I think that Bailey's done enough, or has he? Jackson really tightens up the exit. He's alongside, a drag race to the line, side by side to the checkered flag, and who is it going to be? Get the cameras ready, it's a photo finish, and Josh Jackson takes it on the line by 69 1/1000ths of a second. That was some send-off for a circuit that always has produced really close racing. Jackson from Bailey then with Breland on the podium, Jeremy Crook in 4th, Alec Livsley in 5th. Sam Bailey was a non-starter. That doesn't really matter, it meant that he got to watch what was an enthralling race from the sidelines. A great way to round out the action here at Rockingham.
Josh, that was an epic final for the last race here at Rockingham.
Yeah, it was definitely the best race I've had all year. Jake drove unbelievably well. I got to lead for 2 seconds, but it was the 2 seconds that counted. So, yeah, no, it was good. We had a great race. I kept on the back of him. Yeah, could not get past anywhere, and I had to try for the end. So, yeah, it's nice to come away with 1 win.
That was an epic battle towards the end there, Jake.
Yeah, I'm gutted. 20 minutes keeping him behind me and he doesn't me over the line, but no, it's a good race than that.
What was going through your mind when you just seen him come past you?
Well, he had a good run out of the hairpin, and we got a bit tight into the start of the chicane, and then I thought I would be able to sort of hold him off, but he just must have got a better exit and dragged me to the line.
That brings a close on this weekend's events here at Rockingham Motor Speedway for the Mazdas. What a fantastic weekend of racing it has been, with a lot of unpredictability as per usual. So join us next time for the last and final round at Donington Park.